Hello my friends of software entertainment. Today I will show you how to run Codeception acceptance test on our base Sulu project. So first check out what the actual status is from the last project here with tick. So I just removed the DVX demo test, what was super unnecessary, and I make this little file change here on the DDEV configuration file from base Sulu to Roland Goller. Okay, with this I can just start. DDEV start. And now we are back on our project. Here on the command line will be shown an URL rolandgoller.ddev.site. I can open it, and here we will see our page, and we have here this new headline on English, what we shown on the last video. So today we want to test some things here, and we have here installed Codeception. So the first thing I have to do is, here's a local machine with a Linux Fedora. I have here on the local share Selenium standalone our this Java file for the Selenium standalone server. You can just super easy install it also with Mac brew install Selenium standalone, and I will add some descriptions how to do this here on the video description. So when Selenium is running, we can do this front-end testing with the Codeception framework. So on next, what we have to do is to check here some files. Actually, there are some files for the configuration for Codeception, like this here on the root folder. There's a Codeception file, and in this file, this is the basic configuration for each of the suites. Acceptance is just one suite, API, functional testing are suites, unit testing is a suite. So with the Codeception framework, you can do a lot of testing things all combined in one testing framework, and this helps a lot to set up different test kinds. So we have here namespace, and we have here this shuffle modus, what shuffles the actual test to get them more stability. And we have here a setting that our parameters will be read from the .env file in the root folder. When you just remove this dot here, Codeception will listen on the actual environment variables from your folder. So I just will open this file, and here are also the settings from the Sulu framework. So my actual DB configuration for the DDEV, MySQL container, and here is also an URL, and now I need here some new URL. So I get this here, and I will add it to here, and I will remove the DE and also the slash for the start page, because maybe I want to make different tests on this kind. So please add here only the website URL, and now you have here also some configuration file for your suite. This is actually here our file. Our class name will be acceptance tester. We add the WebDriver module for our release Selenium features, and we add the assertions module to have more functionality with the PHP unit assertion, like assert contains, assert same, assert is in array, assert has key, and such things. And also we have here now our variable from our .env file, so we can use different URLs on our build pipelines. Okay, anything worked for us, and now I have to do an vendor bin concept build because I make something here on my environment setup. And when this is ready, I hope this will work. So when I say just run and make minus steps here to see the steps here on my terminal, and with minus HTML I can just generate an HTML report. I also can with minus XML generate an XML report, maybe later for our Jenkins or GitLab CI or whatever, Circle CI, also spectacular project. So then I will run this test. You see my browser's coming up and super fast it tested something. Let us check what is tested here. Whoopa. So we have here our language test. And this has every time the same structure. There's a before method, what says on what page we are, and we wait for an element. Codeception is PHP, and PHP is faster than its own shadow. It's like Lucky Luke. And so when he say, okay, I'm on page, start page, and then I receive a 200 status code, everything is clear. And when I want to fill a field, there is no field because it's not rendered so far. So we have to wait for element. The wait for element will wait by default 5 seconds. Maybe you can now think about, hey, when my start page is not loading after 2 seconds, I have a problem. You can set here as a second parameter a timeout. So now the timeout is here on 2 seconds. You can also set this global on your application, but maybe it's not necessary for me now, because when the element is there, you see how fast the test was. We can check it. It was 2.91 seconds to do 2 tests, yes. So when the element is there, the test will run forward. It only will fail when it's longer waiting than 5 seconds. So after that, here is every public function, every public method. What is here in this test file will be run as test. We don't need a special test or on end or beginning of the name or some special annotations here. So the first test here is redirect to DE. Is this working? So we can see on current URL, I see in current URL /DE. This is the first test. And then there is a second test. Headline change on language. Maybe we can do this better here. Language switch. And we have here some 2 parameters. Yes. I have the acceptance tester. What is the $I? What gives me everything our modules give to me. And we have here some base page object. We will go to this now. So we have here the URL, what is just a slash. Then we have the public static navigation language English, what is now the nav language has an ID, then the second parameter and the A link, and we have here some start page headline. So you can believe when you write more tests, maybe for forms, and you every time have a submit button here, and then you will press this button on different tests. And when you have to change something on the HTML, you have to change your HTML in many tests. This is not so good. Also, there's a second reason: you will change your HTML when you start writing tests. When you start writing tests, you will build better software because you want it. And so just make the tests run with maybe long and creepy selectors, and then make better selectors and refactor just here on this file. Okay, and also there's another reason, because now when we have here some speaking variable names, you can read it much better on the test when you develop the test. With this here, I cannot say that this is the navigation language switcher to English. Okay, but with this here, navigation language English, for me, everything is clear. I can go back to the test and I see, okay, here I grab the default headline, I grab text from the start page headline, okay, then I click to navigation English, I wait for element start page headline. When I click this, I get the actual headline. Now this is English, and I say assert not same default headline and actual headline. So here you see I assert not same start page is not home page is working. So, and first we want to see some feature. What will happen when a test fail? So maybe did I run the HTML report? Yes, I can say here is my Google Chrome report. Everything is green here. Both tests are green, both tests are working. And now I want to say, okay, this is super easy to fail. We just say, okay, please fail. So we say now here assert the same, and the German headline is not the same as the English headline, so this test will fail. Okay, we will rerun the tests. And the test failed. So when we check here our report, you see first you see here the shuffle mode, because the redirect test is normally the first test on the test class, but it is shuffled, so it's now the second here, and the first failed. And it says here the assert same start page is not working, and it gives you a screenshot from the actual environment where this is running, and also gives you HTML snapshot. And this HTML snapshot has also AJAX autocompletion when it will be there. So you get an exactly HTML snapshot from that environment that you have to check. Okay, this is super powerful, and this is super good. Okay, so let us add a new test. Because when we change here to English, we also want to see that the DE is not there and the /en is there. So let us write a new test. Public function URL segments change on language switch. So here is also the acceptance tester with the $I, and our base object as page object. Okay, and now we have here. So I'm now on page, on the start page. It's loaded because it's here on the before part. So I just do the same as here. I want to switch the page. $I, click. $page, double point to English, and now I will wait for elements. Start page headline is a very good thing to wait off. Most of the pages will have an H1 on the start page, but not every page will have this. You can also add some jQuery functions here to get the actual status, but this is not the topic now for this video. So now I see in current URL that there is en, and I also want to see maybe that there is, when I say URL, I cannot see in URL that there is an de /de. So you see, it is super powerful to use PhPStorm here. You can also do this with Vim and the PHP actor, but I think most of you are using PhPStorm, so I make here some more PhPStorm in my tutorial videos, and hope that this is okay for you. And now we get this test here, this test name, and we want just to run this test now. So here is my rerun command, and I say run acceptance. And then there is here, as you see, the base language test. This is the actual structure. And I say double points, just double point to run our actual methods here. And maybe I don't want to make an HTML report, just see the steps. So 1.8 seconds every time everything is checked, and we got a new test here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. For now we want to make a quick review what we have done here. First we make some changes on the actual environment path and add here our new URL. Then we build with the vendor bin concept build command, we rebuild our acceptance tester functions, and we don't do anything here on the page object. We have to remove this DVX project here. I can do this, by the way. And we have here this language test. So this has a before method. What will happen here, because this is now the language test, everything what is about languages will happen here. So this project only has a start page. So I'm here on the start page and I wait for elements just for the h1 elements to prove that the page is loaded. I check the redirect. When I come in here, you can see it. I think I don't show it to you. When I'm here on my page and press enter, I'm redirected to .de. This is a default, this is a configuration of my Sulu framework. This is a configuration here on some framework settings. But I want to test this feature that it is working every time, and I want to get proof it. I cannot do unit tests on configuration files for my Symfony application here, for my content management system. And I don't want to do this here. So I don't know if you see me so far. And so I can just check it here. Also, I check if the headline here is changing. So it's not the same. Later we just run all tests. Okay, I grab text from an element. I have it here now on my default headline. I click here. I wait for an element, and I have an actual headline. And now I see if it's different. And I also can just make here some breakpoint. I can make the listener run, get this here for my terminal. I have here some export files. With this export command, you can run PHP from your terminal and get Xdebug breakpoints. I can also link this here on my description later. And for now, we will run the other test. URL segment, okay, this was not this test. This is good. Headline switch. So I run this test and it breaks. As you see here. Hello. It breaks and it gives me here our variables, actual URL, default URL, and I can do here all the stuff with Xdebug that I need to do. Okay. More stuff we need. Okay, let's run all the tests. So I just can say I remove all the stuff here and just run our acceptance test, maybe with steps, and maybe I also can generate an HTML report. This is okay. So this was faster, 3 seconds, 3.2 seconds to test all these things. You can say Codeception acceptance tests are 8 times faster than humans test. I think it's much faster. So now just open the report. We see here our 3 tests. 0.7 seconds. Sometimes I think this is laziest test here, but it's maybe how fast the browser opened. The page is really too fast. So far, so good, my friends. Now you can do your own tests here. Later we will see to test much more things. I will now start on the next lesson with the actual migration of the rolangola.de theme forest template to the Sulu CMS. We will see how to add custom content elements and how to add here some new pages, new page layouts. This will be on target. Follow this channel here. Give me feedback how this works for you. Try it out. Please improve my skills here and your skills to get better results for the community, and share this video. Thank you.